Good morning, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your late start. Okay, so this is section 4.3 called Slope-Intercept Form. So make sure you get that down in your notes. I want you to remember that you can, at any point you want, pause the video so that you can make sure to catch up on the notes. All right, so this is the equation of a straight line. Y equals mx plus b. Y is y, and x is x. X are the inputs, and y are the outputs. M is slope, and b is the y-intercept. So we're going to be doing some graphing today and writing some equations with this equation, which is something that I'm positive that you've seen before in your last math class. So, all right, so let's try this one. This one you need to write an equation of a straight line where the slope is 4/7 and the y-intercept is 5. Okay, so I'm going to write the equation y equals mx plus b. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the m and replace the b with 4/7 and 5. So the slope is 4/7 like that. Notice that I don't have an m in there anymore because I replaced it with the 4/7, but there's still an x plus 5 like that. All right, example 2. Same deal, only this time you're going to do it. So I want you to write an equation where the slope is equal to -5 and the y-intercept is equal to 12. So go ahead and pause the video. Try the problem yourself. All right, assuming that you've already tried it, I'm going to write it in. Should look like this. You could have a plus, a -12 here, or just -12. Either one works. All right, next one. Now, sometimes when you're writing an equation, it is frustrating because you want to basically make it look like y equals mx plus b, but it doesn't already look like that. So here's an example of that. If you have something that looks like this, 6x minus 3y equals -18. That doesn't look like y equals mx plus b. And remember, m is going to be a number and b is going to be a number, but it should look like y equals something, right? And this one doesn't. The y has a lot of stuff on this side. So all we're going to do to make it look like that is we're going to move everything over to the other side using those properties that we know how to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 6x from both sides. I've got a -3 left, -3y left on the left. On this side, see how I've got a -18 and a 6x? I can't put those together because one has an x and one doesn't. And I want it to look like something like this when I'm done. I want the x to come first and then that extra number, so I'm just going to write that -6x first, like that. Okay, now I still need to get the y by itself, so right now it's times by a -3, so to get rid of that, I'm going to divide by a -3 all over. So now this is y equals -6 divided by -3 is a +2. And a -18 divided by a -3 is +6. So it should look like that when you're done. Okay, your turn. We're gonna try 2x plus 8y equals 24. So remember, you're trying to get the y by itself. So you're going to move that 2x and move that 8 to make it look something like that. Go ahead and pause the video and try it yourself. Okay, I'm assuming that you paused. Hope you actually did. Subtracting 2x from both sides. I can't put that 24 and that 2 together because one has an x and one doesn't. And I want it to look like y equals mx plus b, so I'm going to put the x first. Negative 2x plus 24. Okay, and then to get y by itself, I'm going to divide by 8. Now, 2 divided by 8, some of you might have written 4, but it's not 4 because the 2 is on top, the 8 isn't on top. So it's actually negative 2/8 x, like that, plus 24 divided by 8 is 3. And then I can also reduce this one because that's 2/8, and 2/8 I can take a 2 out of the top and the bottom, so that'd be negative 1/4 x plus 3. All right, only 2 more to go. Last ones are not so bad, I promise. I think example probably 3 and 4 were the harder ones of these. Okay, so for these, what we're going to do is we're going to now graph equations that look like y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to put a couple pieces of graph paper on my sheet here. And you can just have this in your, notebook or just make a sketch if you want to. All right, so for example 5, we've got a slope of negative 3/2 and a y-intercept of 4. So we're going to try to do this one. Okay, so I'm going to make some axes. That's y. There's x. Okay, so I'm going to write this as y equals mx plus b first. Remember that the slope is m, so I'm going to write that in right here. Negative 3/2 x plus 4, that's that b, that's that y-intercept. And here's how I graph this line. I'm going to start with the y-intercept. So I'm going to count up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a dot. And then I'm going to use the slope, and remember that's like rise over run, to draw my next dot. So see how it's a negative 3? So I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3, and then to the right 2. So that is a slope of down 3 over 2, rise over run. And then my final step is to connect the dots. So the first step, graph the y-intercept, and then use rise over run to graph the slope, and then draw a line in. That's how you graph them. All right, last problem we're doing today. You are going to graph one with a slope of negative 2 and a y-intercept of 7. Now, I want to remind you about something. Since you're used to thinking about rise over run, negative 2 can be written as negative 2 over 1. So don't forget that. I'm going to help you write right here that this is y equals negative 2 over 1 x plus 7. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and try to graph it yourself. pause, pause, pause.